because that ain't my style. I never said I was the best in the world, but I'm the best for you, girl. Just stay for a while. And I'm like, you bastard. Like, you gonna tell a girl, like, you gonna tell a girl, you know, you don't need that. This is what you need. And then I'm not gonna give you that either. What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Fuck This Review, where today I'm reviewing the new Brent Faiyaz album, Wasteland. This is my first album that I'm reviewing from Brent Faiyaz. Brent Faiyaz. I don't know. Fuck, he knows that last name is difficult. This is my first album I'm reviewing from him. Maryland native like myself, so I couldn't wait to listen to the album. I'm hearing like everybody's thoughts on it. Some people say it's great. Some people say it's good. My first thoughts, I hear a lot of people talk about the toxic aspect to it, and but I kind of hate that because I feel like anytime a guy, I'm gonna just get the guys back. I'm gonna hold us fellas down for a second. I feel like every time a guy is vulnerable and says how he feels, and everybody always says, you're being toxic. And it's like, no, I'm just expressing how I feel. And at certain moments in this relationship, this is how I felt. And I think you can, if you pick anybody brain from that aspect, like, you can always find a toxic thing in anyone's opinion about anything in life. And I'm not like vouching for him or anything, because I don't know this guy. But, you know, I just hate that the fact that sometimes we're gonna start burying people's thoughts more and more and more and more, and feelings more and more and more. First off, just on the music though, one of the things I loved about the album that I feel like people probably don't love as much is that it's very simplistic on the production end. The beats are still, it's not your typical R&B sound. You could tell he's reaching for a little bit more, like maybe a little popish, and he's independent. I had to throw that in there. So, and he's about to do like over 100K in the first week. Sidebar. But anyway, the simplistic production like was a quick grasp of me, because I like music like that. Although like sometimes I do enjoy production that's lavish and beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy like, or day in the life Beatles like. But sometimes, most of the time, I want my shit to just be stripped down and clear, and let me understand what you're saying and what's the message, and is it a good bop? Is the rhythm good? Is the kick hitting? Like, that's the type of stuff I just care about. So I'm reading people not liking the production standpoint on here, but it's something I enjoyed. The story itself within the album, what I got from this album, just straightforward, the story-wise, is consequences of your actions. Like, you do all this stuff and you're aware, but you're still doing it and you're still hurting the person you know. Matter of fact, he is toxic. Fucking toxic. Because, like, he had his whole child's mother at home. He moved her to a city she's not from, away from all her family and stuff of that nature. And I've been in situations like that. And to leave her and make this thing like, this is my job, I got to do blah, 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 blah. And then you're on the road dodging her cars, fucking bitches in the car, telling the driver to pull up the partition. Like, there's certain things like that that's just wicked, right? And then to get to the last skit, and the skits on here are just terrible, 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 terrible. Like, this album, I'm not a big skit person, but this album made me hate skits to the fullest. It felt like I was dropping in on like one of those BT movies from the early 2000s and shit. Like, it was just like, this is terrible acting. It was just bad. But that final skit on here where he gets home from his, leisures and things of that nature, and the child of his mother's not there, and she's pregnant at the time, so he's worried it's 3 a.m. in the morning whatsoever, where you blah, blah, blah. He calls her, and she like, I'm pretty sure she found out about everything he was doing on the road, and she attempts to end the baby's life and her life, which is a crazy shocker, but real. And you hear him on the phone, then he's on the phone with the dispatcher, he's rushing to where she is. He gets in a car crash, kills himself. 3 people lose their lives, probably more in his car crash, over his mistakes. Not even mistakes, just him being foolish, like, and inconsiderate and heartless and things of that nature. So it just shows you, that's the theme that I got from the album: consequences. The consequences of your actions will always live beyond you. As far as some of the songs on here, Loose Change is dope. Gravity, which was already out, which I thought was a I thought it was Tyler's production because it sounds so much like Tyler production. Like it got those chords. Don't think that none of it. Like if Tyler didn't write some of this, I'll be shocked. All Mine is dope. All Mine, all mine. That should be a single for sure. The second or third part of Price of Fame is my favorite piece of music on this album. I felt like that vibe that he had right there is just like perfect, perfect, perfect. And to go back to All Mine, like throughout my day, it's just been popping in my head. Catch a flight, change the weather. It's just been in my head the whole time. Wasting Time with Drake, which I think this is probably the first song we heard from this album. I like it because we finally get a Neptune's production in, the 2020s, where it's like actual chord driven for the most part. Like a lot of the Neptune's production they've been giving out, or Pharrell's been giving out, has just been so 808 heavy, and I guess he's finding a love with 808s and freaking those drums, but it becomes tiresome and it don't really have no soul to it to me. So when I heard this one, and for it to be the not first but second song for Drake to rap on, Neptune song to rap on, I thought it was dope because it gave that vintage Neptune sound. Go to a song like Rolling Stones, and the production is straight through, but it allows you to hear what he's saying and the textures and flows that he's doing. It reminds me of the production on here reminds me of, like, this is gonna be a weird comparison, right? Just follow me for a second. The production on here reminds me of something that like Dr. Dre would give to Eminem. Like, it's very stripped down, and it hits, but it's very stripped down, and it allows you to hear what he's talking about and the pockets that he's finding. And I think it's the same kind of thing on here. I like the beat on FYTB. Addictions, I think, should have been like the title of the album, because I think it sums up everything from the drugs to women to fame to itself, to his ego. Like, it's addictions running through this whole goddamn album. So I thought that was a great record. Jackie Brown is another one I thought was dope. I thought somebody else was on there, but I think it's just him with like a different voice. Yeah, and then Wake Up Call and End with Angel, I guess, like, to end it on that note where, like, again, your fucking consequences killed at least 5 people. You know what I mean? Like, just your one dumbass action caused the life of fucking 5 people. It's just insane. Let me get into some of my favorite songs. All Mine, Price of Fame, and I'll go with Wasting Time. I like that one. If you're gonna waste your time with me. I fuck with that. Worst song, Role Model for sure. You could have definitely left that off. Some of the flaws on here is, I think that and I'll just throw this in right now, I think that the album's too long, 19 songs, bunch of skits. Some of the songs are repetitive subject matter to which you already touched on. And I think it's going to be hard for newer artists to make those classic albums that our predecessors did, because they're afraid to let go of songs. Like, some songs don't have to make the cut. And I think it's getting harder and harder for artists to realize that. But that's the tangent I'm going on. Best line. You don't need someone to make you feel better than you ever felt. You know what you need is someone who will be there when you don't feel yourself. But I ain't selling dreams. They ain't my style. Well, I would do the falsetto, but you ain't gonna catch me out here slipping. But I ain't selling dreams. Because that ain't my style. I never said I was the best in the world, but I'm the best for you, girl. Just stay for a while. And I'm like, you bastard. Like, you gonna tell a girl, you don't need that. This is what you need. And then I'm not gonna give you that either. It's crazy. As far as a rating, I'm gonna give it like a 3. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 fucks given, just off the first couple listens that I got in. And but just because it does have its flaws and the story loses steam towards the end. Let's wrap this up though. In closing, again, I enjoy this album. I'm hearing so many mixed opinions about it. This is not his best. It's cool, blah, blah, blah. What do you think of the album? I feel like, although I did admit it does bury some toxic traits, it does show you the consequences of your actions. Everything has consequences. Like, you cheating with that girl caused your baby mother to in her life, the kid's life. You're rushing to find her. You in your life, the person you crashed into, whoever the car's piled up in on. Like, it's just a whole bunch of butterfly effect shit that leads around it. But the music aspect, I enjoyed the music for the most part. I love his tone. Like, I just love his tone. Like, for this to be my first project listening to him, I like his tone. So that's pretty much it. You let me know. You let me know in the comments what you think of the new album. Did you like it? Is it one of the ones that you would skip past? Is it too toxic for you? What's some of your favorite records on here? Give me your top 3. And let me know if there's another Brent Faiyaz. I don't know how to say his goddamn last name. You know that's a tough ass last name. You know in school, the fucking teacher, every time they read it, it was like Brent Faiyaz, whatever the fuck it is. Let me know if there's another album I should review from him. And that's pretty much it. As always, fuck this review. I'm Tatum. Peace.